Hi everyone and welcome back to Newton Grove. One of the questions I get asked a lot when people see the layout in either photographs or in person is, wow, where did you get your yard lamps from? Well, the simple answer is they're scratch built. I've never really scratch built anything before. However, Newton Grove has been a place for me to test a few things, and the yard lamps has just been one of the things I have scratch built on the layout. I had a look at archival photographs and films and also photographs from other models that I'd seen on the internet just to sort of see what was around. But mostly, of course, as I've taken Rosegrove as most of my inspiration, I had a look at the yard lamps there. To begin with, I drew up a 1-to-1 scale plan of what I wanted the lamps to look like, and I really guessed the height of them all, the height, the width and so forth. The columns either side are actually just pieces of rail cut to the same length, and then they're joined together with plasticard strips at the base of the rail and then some brass strips at the top as well. The rails are actually just forced into a piece of balsa wood which acts as the base, and then I put some plaster around that just to really seal them in. And what I was trying to emulate was a concrete base that these lamps sit on, once again looking at different photographs and thinking what could be best for the layout. The ladder on each particular yard lamp is actually just from Pico. Pico make O-gauge ladders. I think you get 2 in a packet, so I've just used them. Each lamp has been fitted with warm LEDs, and then I've just got wires that come directly down the side of the rails and through the actual base. Once everything was assembled, I painted everything in matte black. I just gave it a really good spray, and what I did is I put blue tack over the LED so that no paint would get on that at all. Naturally, you test each LED globe before you go off and do this process because you want to make sure that everything works. For the lampshade, I was a little bit perplexed of how I was going to actually make them. And then one day my dad suggested to me, hey, what about these screw caps? And you know what? They were perfect. They were the perfect size for the LED globes. To me, they looked like they're perfect scale, and they just worked, so I used them. I just put 2 small holes to feed the wires into and put a very small round piece of plastic card over the top to sort of seal it in, and that was that. I then painted them a matte green after everything had been sprayed black, and they came up looking really, really good. Once I built the lamps, before I started to paint them, I positioned them around the layout to see what would look good. I also played with orientation, twisting and turning them certain ways so they weren't all facing the same way, just as in the archival photographs I had looked at before of Rosegrove and other sheds. Once I was happy with the positioning, I screwed some small holes in the layout and fed the wires through, and I also put a plasticard tube into the base of the balsa wood, so whenever I remove the lamps I've got a small guide as such to just hold them in place. The final touches on the lamps were painting and weathering, and I basically just used a Humbrol wash. They have a rust wash. When they were all dry, I went over with some weathering powders using Humbrol Smoke and Dark Earth, and they've come up looking really, really well. I'm very happy with the result. The yard lamps really bring this scene to life. They're so imposing because they rise 2 or 3 times above the locomotives. It really gives a sense of scale and vastness. Really brought the entire scene to life. Playing around with photography, I've really enjoyed the nighttime scenes that I can create, and it's really nice to also shoot through these lamps. It just gives it that extra feeling to it and a real sense of realism. I used the same warm LEDs for the interior of the shed as well. And I've also used the screw caps on the outside face of the shed too. Now I do plan on putting the caps inside the shed, but as I've got about 20 odd LEDs, I just wanted to make sure that everything worked and it looked really good, which of course it does, and in my opinion it does anyway. I've just toned these down a little bit with a few resistors, and they're powered literally by a 9-volt battery, which once again is just plugged in under the baseboard. Well, there you go, that's basically how I've made the yard lamps and the rest of the lighting for Newton Grove. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button so that you can see when new videos come out, and I look forward to sharing more about Newton Grove with you very soon.